And
So with the Starscream though, I would expect that one to sell out pretty quick though. No, since he's
It
like
was the
popular.
first one out, so I would assume that would sell out the first. Like, if any of them would sell out, would be that one. Then you don't know how many quantities they put out for the Thundercracker and Skywarp based on, you know, the interest of Starscream. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have limited quantities on those two, but they seem to be still available. So
I thought in the Japanese market they were mall exclusives. No, for those.
no,
I thought,
no, I don't
Okay.
think so. I might be wrong on that, but they were available on everybody's, even on Hasbro Pulse. So
Okay. Well, yeah. They definitely.
they might have been exclusives to to justify the 200 and, I think Starscream started at like 270, and Thundercracker was like 250.
Yeah.
So
It's fucking too much, man. I'm like,
yeah. Like I was when they even first came out, I was saying if I can get them less than 200, I'll buy them. Like, if I see the price drop below 200, I'll buy them. And then when that Hasbro Pulse happened, I was like, so like, we all thought it was going to be a Power Ranger sale, but it turned into something else.
Yeah. I mean, with the prices of those pieces, those MP Seekers, like the newer ones, I feel like everything, like with the MP line, almost everything, unless it was like a car or one of these like little smaller ones, the price point was always going like above, like north of 200, like the Beast Wars ones. The Optimus was super expensive, the Megatron. So I kind of like the Starscream and characters like that. Like I always figured they would be, like north of $200, and then it's like, oh, you got to wonder or decide if you're gonna be okay with that. So
yeah. I still have to pick up the skids because I never picked up the X Transbot version or the official. So
yep, me neither. But
Skids is still available. Like, I think it's sold out on the Hasbro Pulse during that sale, but I think you can still pick them up on any of the online vendors. So
yeah, I feel like I saw skids when I was just kind of browsing around today for like $80, $85 or something like that. So I almost was gonna jump on, like, just to fuck with it and see, it's a car. Like, let me see. Like, even though I'm not really fucking with the masterpiece, I feel like I'm just like, I need to get something new. Like, I need to fuck with something new. Like,
to me, that's like a convention purchase. Like, if I'm walking around the convention and I see somebody with a good deal, I'll pick that one up.
I got a bunch of chugs out like on my desk because I'm fucking on vacation. I'm like, I gotta just fuck with something. I got like more stuff there on my table. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been taking pictures and if like cool because I hadn't done it like in a while.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, fuck. Like I feel like I need something new. So I just like taking these out and messing with them. I'm like, all right, I haven't messed with them in a while. So it kind of feels like something new. But I'm browsing, like, you know what I'm saying? I just closed that window too of what we were just talking about because I'm like, man, $200. Let me just kind of chill. Let me just chill for now. But I'm not going to say what it is so nobody goes out and buys it.
It's not a rush. Influencing anyone.
Like I'm just like, I feel like I just made the smart decision, but I'm like, man, I've been wanting that thing for years. Years. Just step on the monkey, right? But
yeah.
I'm trying to be responsible.
You don't know. Your good friend Brian might have just sniped it off of you.
I know. But good thing about like the checking the quantity, right? Like,
he's being quiet over there.
Listen, man, it's fate, right? Like if it happens, it happens. Like I pass up on it, and then it sells. Then it's like, okay, whatever, it's fine.
It wasn't meant to be.
It was, it's been out for years, and there's new stuff coming. So just gotta be patient.
I was watching like a video of what's coming up in the legacy line, and it's some interesting stuff. It's like, wow, they're really expanding now into other like, RID, fucking Prime, and a couple other facets of Transformers, like, obviously the Unicron trilogy. They're doing a lot of that stuff, like Hot Rod and or Hotspot. I'm sorry, but like, I'm amazed on how crazy they're gonna get with it.
Yeah, did you see that they showed the Armada? It's Armada Starscream, the red one.
Yes,
Like he's all red. Yeah, so I saw
There's
that and I was
rumors-
like,
There's rumors that they're doing the Armada Megatron too. So it's
yeah. So there were, I think, some listings that dropped or whatever,
Yeah.
and I think that was listed as one. So that's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying, for anybody that's into it, because again, they're spreading it all out. Like, I saw the Starscream drop today, and then the Inferno, and I was like, well, for the Beast Wars, like, even though I feel like I want to be done with that, like, I guess if it's season 1, I'll just cop those, right? And I saw the Inferno and I was like, oh, okay, like I gotta cop that. I saw that and I heard like for the royalty in my head. And
Yeah.
that. So I'm like, all right. So I was like, that I gotta cop. But I was like, that Starscream, I don't really have any attachment to that. So that's one of those legacy ones that I could skip, you know? I remember having that one for the Thrilling 30, and I was like, those are small, little, simple, like deluxe. And I was like, again, don't really know much about the character, so now seeing that here, I was like, okay, I could probably skip that one.
Yeah.
You know, so
The one
whatever,
the one-
anybody that wants that's cool though. You know?
The one I was pissed off to hear was like, I guess they're doing the Transformers Prime Skyquake, I think Skyquake, the green jet, like the brother of I forgot the brother, the blue jet. I forgot what the blue jet's name was.
Thundercracker. Duh.
Thundercracker.
No, not Thundercracker. From Transformers Prime.
Skyquake was a
Skyquake. There was a Skyquake, and
No
then
one
and then
cares.
there was a green or blue. There was a green in the blue one. So
Yeah, I know what you're
The
talking
green
about.
one is Acid Storm.
no.
No.
Wow,
Just talking
Brian.
about Transformers Prime.
Fucking
Transformers
G1 elitist, man. Sorry.
He was like,
Sorry,
nobody
man.
cares.
Sorry.
Nobody cares.
Sorry.
Yeah, but like once they show it, like then it's like, okay, cool, you know, because I think we always get those little like drops, like, oh, look at this listing, we found this listing in Target or Walmart, and that's cool because it's like it's making it kind of definitively gives you like, hey, like a name, like look out for this, and then they eventually like drop it, and it's like, oh yeah, so that was real, that was true, like what we saw.
Yep.
But I love seeing
listings. I think a lot of those listings have come true in the past. So.
Yeah, I want to like see the stuff, you know, like like that the one that they dropped a couple of weeks ago, that Velocitron collection or whatever, so that has a Blur. I think there's a Diaclone Skids, a couple of other figures that they revealed like in that line. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, like I was like, I saw some of those. I'm like, okay, I'll get a couple. I think there was like a repaint of the Prime RC that we just got in Legacy. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, I could grab a couple of those and skip some others, you know, which has been the beauty of the line. I felt like I haven't had to go all in, you know, so it's good stuff. So, wow, what's up, everybody? Well, welcome to Breaking the Mold. Sorry, we're just having a conversation backstage and we went live, so why not? Just go right into it.
Bring it ready and
you know. Let's say what's up to everybody.
Dom likes to talk before the show, and then the show comes on, and he has nothing to talk about.
Yep. Nothing.
I'm a private talker. I'm a backstage talker.
Wow.
Well, motherfuckers said blah 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 blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not live, and then when we're live, you know.
Nobody can hold me to anything because it's on recording. You know, Dom said this.
Oh man. So episode 195, Breaking the Mold, your Tuesday night delight here on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. First and foremost, we do not have Nick Whitmore tonight. I believe he'll be with us next week. So as we said, cards subject to change. It's right after the holiday and stuff like that, and I think there's a time difference there. So he'll be on next week's program. So definitely tune in for that. And let's just say what's up. Brian Brink, how are you tonight, man?
I'm great. I was working right up until the last second. You know, shout out to having those short work weeks, the holidays and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. Manager gives me something to do on Friday, but he doesn't tell me when it's due, right? And he knows that I got other things that I gotta do this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's hit me up today. He's like, so what's the status on this? And I'm like, I got to do this other thing first. He's like, well, we need to send it out as soon as possible. So I don't care if it's not finished. Just give me what you got. I was like, huh. You know, if you tell me when it's due, I can plan accordingly. like I can decide to maybe put in a couple hours over the weekend or things like that. But
That out the way.
you know, I think the guy's got my number though, because he knows that I work better under pressure. So if he
Yes.
just gives me a deadline, just like I need it in a couple hours, I think I work best at that time. I think he's figured that out. I mean, I don't really divulge that information.
You
I
want
guess
the
I just
pressure.
did, but
You just
yeah.
did, yes.
So I guess I just
That's that's what you say.
you
have to
see
say
a
that
need, fill a
backstage.
need, right? Remember that show? What was that movie? Robots? Is that what it was called? With Ewan McGregor, who voiced what's his name, and someone else is in there. Robin Williams, maybe.
Robin
Can't remember.
Williams. Yep.
And you see a need, fill a need. Words to live by.
It's like leave a penny, take a penny, take a penny, leave a penny.
Something like that.
All right.
No.
All right. So next up, JD. What's going on, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Took off work today. Went to the doctor's with Chan. Made sure she got in there. Didn't want to leave her alone, of course.
Oh,
But yeah, pretty chill weekend. Just was it Sunday? We went over and hung out with my mom. Yesterday we were just kind of here hanging out. Started ripping a bathroom apart. Yeah, so
Which bathroom?
the guest bathroom.
Is that the upstairs one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So
Nice.
next time anybody's over, it's probably gonna look quite different.
different.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I should have you guys redo my bathroom.
We'll come hang out, do some work.
Why not? All right. All right, Dom. What's up, dude? How are you?
Pretty good. My weekend was busy, but enjoyed the weather. It was beautiful weather for the most part, I guess. If you didn't get a rolling thunderstorm on Saturday, I know a couple people that I talked to got hit with a tangential, just a downfall of rain that just blinded everythody.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they got
10
hit by lightning, because that would have been really cool.
No. Like, there was a couple people, like my family members who live down south
times.
Jersey, got hit with a quick thunderstorm that dropped a like an ocean of rain on them. But
Nobody
no, had a good time. Friday night we went to. There's a park near by my sister-in-law's called that hosts like a it's like a town festival that they do on 4th of July, where they they light up some fireworks starting at 9:00, but then they open up the park at 6. But they have like vendors, like trucks selling food, ice cream, and
Funnel cakes? Yeah,
funnel cakes and fried.
Or no,
Oreos
it's
and all that
Jersey. Is it Zeppeli? They do Zeppeli.
Is that, no funnel cakes, Brian. We do funnel cakes. Funnel cakes. There are Zeppelins
Nice.
too, but it was a good time. We've always been going for the last, I don't know, since they moved there. So that they haven't done it for COVID in 2020 and 2021. So this was like the first time they ever had it since 19, and they killed it. I guess they had enough money saved up to buy the big fireworks, and it was really like a show. So I was really impressed on the finale, because it was the biggest fireworks I ever saw. The funny thing is like when you're at those little mom and pop like festivals, like when you're up that close to fireworks, it just makes the whole experience different than when you're a little further away from them. So, but it was fun. Saturday what did we do Saturday? Saturday we hung out at my sister's house. That was my pool day, so hung out at the pool, drank, enjoyed the weather, and we didn't get any rain or anything. So it was a nice day to hang outside, drink some beers, and just hang out by the pool.
Nice. Nice.
Sunday I went. Sunday was my nephew's graduation party, so went out to Long Island over there and just chilled and They had a graduation party and great food. They brought like an Italian food truck. So again, they had Ceppalis and fried Oreos and Italian sausages and cheesesteaks, and it was really good. It was a good outing, and the food and the music and the crowd was nice. So
Nice, man.
and then
Dom,
Monday I went to the beach. I just chilled at the beach on Monday. So
he says, have you been so close where the firework debris is landing on you?
yes, so this time it was because they usually didn't have the big fireworks. Like you know the difference when you're like when you're seeing fireworks like the Macy's fireworks or like those big fucking 40 I don't know ton fireworks that shoot up in the air and blow up and they're huge. So this time around, typically they're small, like the stuff that you would typically get from like Pennsylvania and the cakes and stuff like that. And
Whoa!
buy like nothing really too crazy, but I don't know where you get them. But this year I guess they were able to get some bigger fireworks and debris was falling because it was a little windy on Friday night. So there was some trailing debris that was coming down on our heads a little bit.
Dom
Which
got
I didn't mind.
PA,
I didn't mind.
PA fireworks.
But I'm sure you know where to go, JD. I know we Jerseyans only go across the border so far, and I'm sure they're not selling us the good stuff. So
Maryland and
I had my friends they had a place in Maryland, kind of off the beaten path a little bit, and they did fireworks one year. God, so long ago now, but that they have a pool in the backyard. The next morning, we go look around, and the pool is full of like little canisters from all the mortars that they were launching.
Shells.
Yeah.
Definitely leave a mess. They definitely leave a mess. So I've done my share of just buying a bunch of cakes and mortars and shooting them off in the cul-de-sac and just basically having to clean up the next morning because there's debris and shells all over the place. So the neighbors don't like that.
Yeah. I was hearing a lot of that stuff last night. Just didn't really see any like fireworks.
I didn't see any either. Usually there's these people down like I don't know, I guess I live like in a horseshoe road. And the people down at the bottom usually launch them off. And I actually see some from my backyard, but I didn't see any this year. There were some north of me, not far. I don't know where the hell they were launching those off, but I just heard them. I was outside listening to fireworks and beers on a stoop.
Yep.
Yeah,
I had that playing last night too. All right, we got one that slipped in. What's up, G Money? What's going on, bro?
What's up, gentlemen? How's it going today?
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry for being late. It's kind of a hectic day, but
No problem.
It's good to be here for a little bit anyway, right? That's cool.
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Not too much. Have you guys ever had a break, whether forced or by choice, from technology, where you kind of like disconnected just a little bit, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I miss a Mexico exclusive, and then I get pissed.
So, right. This my wife was in Massachusetts this weekend visiting her family, so I ended up taking a weekend off, which is the first holiday, 4th of July weekend. I think I've actually not worked right on the holiday itself in probably 15 years.
Nice.
And so I took her to the airport Friday, picked her up last night. It's just me and the 3 cats hanging out here at the house. Well, Thursday the Wi-Fi goes out at the house, right? And not sure what it is. Trying to troubleshoot it, doesn't work. So first tech appointment was Sunday afternoon at 1:00. And where we live, there's like your regular phone signal is pretty choppy, which is probably why I sound not so great here on the wireless sometimes. But from Thursday, Friday, Saturday into Sunday, right? No apps on the TV. Busted out the old Case Logic, with the Blu-rays in it. Played a couple movies in the background, but otherwise it was just really quiet. And, it was pretty good. I was a little bummed because I wanted to watch Stranger Things, right? We hit Friday. I wanted to watch The Boys on Friday. So I had to kind of wait till Sunday and catch up on some of that. I hadn't seen the Doctor Strange movie, on Disney yet. So I was like, I'm going to watch that. There's kind of plans for the weekend, but it sort of forced me to just, Yeah, exactly. Right. So don't forget. Yeah,
He's all on.
it's But yeah, so it's kind of good. It was a nice weekend. A lot of house stuff, kind of organized at my leisure. Like I said, played with these knucklehead cats a lot of attention,
All right.
and
Yeah, Gary, I did that once. I spent Christmas with family, and they were visiting a friend up in like somewhere up PA somewhere, where the fireworks are shitty, and
Jeez.
and yeah, like there was no broadband, cell phone signal was next to nothing, and yeah, it's just like, all right, well, work can't get me, right? They can't call me, and of course, back then there's, you're not streaming anything. You weren't really using your phone for anything. Maybe Facebook or something like that. But it's like, wow, I'm just gonna disconnect and find something to fucking do.
yeah, it
You
was
know?
pretty good. I actually opened a few toys, and
Uh,
kind of enjoyed like opening them. It wasn't like hey, I haven't done this in a while kind of thing. It was so it was good. It And then go back to work today to the proverbial shit show of stuff.
Of
It's like
course.
fucking
Of course.
HR, asset protection stuff all day. Like you got to be kidding me. I mean, give me a break. But yeah, that's good. So, and I didn't want to miss the topic for tonight, so I had to like rush and get showered and get myself ready to talk.
Oh, nice.
well,
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
we've been
We've been
stalling.
stalling. So yeah, that's nice. It's nice. Did you see any fireworks around your way?
So
Fourth of July?
I am going to be the most curmudgeonly old man, okay, when it comes to the fireworks, because in our little community here, down the street in the cul-de-sac, they do, there's a firefighter who sets it up, and it does a pretty good show. We've gone down there in the past. It's not my thing. And my wife, God bless her, it is her favorite holiday. So she did a lot when she was in Massachusetts. Her family's it's a little bit south of Boston, so they had some pretty significant events both Saturday and Sunday. And since she came back last night, she got in about 6:45. We could hear them, but I kind of it's not my thing, And again, it's not like the grumpy old man, but like when you go see them, even as a kid, they just didn't do anything for me. And it's like you go, you sit, you wait for it to get dark, you mark out your spot. They last for like 10 minutes. I feel like they haven't changed in 40 years of my life. Like they're the same color, they're the same style explosion. They do them in different sequence. And then I'm so crabby because it takes you 4 hours to like get to your car, get out of the parking lot. You know what I mean? It's like, so yeah. So it was not for me. So I was just I could hear it all, and I was like, all right, I gotta go to bed.
All right, yeah, cool. I mean, they just were popping off. Yeah, I just didn't see anything, but I was just hearing it like all night.
Yep, that's how it was here. It sounded like a war zone.
Yeah, same thing.
I was half tempted. I was half tempted to take my rifle out back and just start firing it into the sky and see if anybody noticed.
It just sounds just like the fireworks,
Yeah.
So so my weekend was low key. Like me and Jesse are on vacation like after Friday. You know what I'm saying? So she was already talking about like being bored and like maybe wanting to go back to work. I'm like just glad to take the time off and stuff like that. And I just got excited too because I got some updates from Amazon, and it looks like I'm getting my Studio Series Snarl, that G-Axis, that G2 G-Axis, and that Junkion are all coming early. Supposedly Friday.
Wow, really?
I'll be getting them on Friday.
Wait, is it Snarl or is it Sludge?
It's the one with the long neck. I think that's the third one.
Oh yeah, okay. So
Sludge. Yeah. So that's awesome. I've been waiting for that. I think the original date was like August 1st, so that's a nice move up right there. But the G-Axis was like October. And now it's saying July. So
that's wild, yeah. Because I mean, Hasbro stuff. I mean, lately, right? Everything they put out, it's like, all right, see you next year.
Yeah.
But like these Transformers, man, I guess these guys are maybe they're delaying the Who the fuck knows what they're doing?
So
The
I
funny,
think
they don't know what they're doing.
the funny thing that you guys mentioned that because I was at the beach on Monday and like I've noticed this the last couple times I've been at the beach, like the shipping containers, like the ships, like are full, dude, like full, like you should see them. They like almost look like cities, like floating in the water. It's like crazy how high they have the containers stacked on some of these ships. It's like crazy.
yeah.
Everybody
So-
wave to JD's army of bats.
Finally coming in.
JD's been waiting for forever. No, I don't
Oh
think
yeah, I
they're gonna
got
be here
Bats
till the
coming
end of the-
Saturday. I got H.I.S.S coming Friday. I got Apollo Luke coming Friday, which
Yeah,
has
thanks.
Chitara in it. Oh,
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
I gotta.
I actually I subscribed to a free month of Hulu, and I started watching Thundercats yesterday. I was like, I want to be ready because they got the Thundercats right now, and I got it right here. Cancel Hulu on August 1st, right there.
Can't you just cancel it now and you're good until August 1st or whatever? I don't think you have
Wait,
to
is
wait.
that how that works?
I think so. Yeah, you could
Well, I
cancel
don't
it.
want to risk it. I
Yeah.
need to get my Thundercats in on this weekend. I got to dig out the ones that I own and set up the Chitara. Man, got fucking complete the team.
Yeah, so that's
Woo-hoo.
nice, man. So we're all gonna be getting
Man.
stuff.
I predict that Brian is going to try to do another Hulu monthly free when the tank comes in, the Thunder tank.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
They'll swing it.
So all right,
When is
Well,
that-
actually,
when is
Tom,
that supposed to come
by
out?
then, my Disney, I think, will finally be run out because I did the 3-year plan on Disney. Remember when they first launched Disney?
That's
I think
right.
it might be up by then, so I'm gonna have to re-up, and maybe I can package things together with.
Oh, that's
Hulu,
right.
I
They
think.
do a package. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do like a
Yeah.
the Hulu, the sports, and Disney all for like $12.99 now.
nice.
I think it's like 12 or $13.99 or something like that.
Well, speaking of tanks, that his tanks.
I
Yeah,
see what you did there.
shit.
Thanks
mean,
for the segue.
Yeah, we were talking about it last week, because based off a leaked listing on Hasbro Pulse, and lo and behold, the next day, just totally funded. Didn't even get a chance to really be like, is it gonna fund? What are the stretch goals? But that shit just funded like straight out, like bang bang. How'd your charting go, Brian? Like that must.
It was like,
Charting was fun. Got my charts out. I
he's like, I'm already done.
I got my charts. I got them on Facebook group. Got them over the Bobby. Got them on a couple other podcasts. Geek Dad Life, Open Your Toys, and
Nice.
yeah, they serve their purpose. I'm working on a real interesting one right now, which is pushing the limits of kind of hacking this Google Sheets application because Google Sheets doesn't give you everything that you can do in Excel when it comes to charting.
Okay.
But I mean, you can fuck around with it and trick it out to make it do a couple things. I'm working
Now,
on
Brian,
something.
I have to ask you a question. Did you change the what is it the horizontal axis to days from days to hours?
Days to what?
Days to hours or minutes?
Days to hours.
For the,
Probably should have.
tank?
One of the things that I've seen other people track this stuff too, and like they'll do it like noon to noon, right?
Mhm.
I do it between somewhere between 11 and 12 a.m. is when I do it, right? And with this H.I.S.S tanks especially, it funded in just under 9 hours. It's like I think Chuck was tracking it by the hour. He got it to like 8 hours and 41 minutes it funded or something like that. And but the Sentinel, right? The Sentinel funded in 22 hours. But the thing is, these things start on noon one day, right? And I'm tracking it till midnight of each day, right? So I don't really have a proper representation of backers achieved in the first 24 hours, which is unfortunate. But I kind of wish maybe I had done that in the past, but it's too late now, I guess. But historical knowledge, EE Prime likes to make me aware of all the time that Sentinel funded in 22 hours. So this is a Marvel Legends.
I was about to say, like, was this the fastest?
Oh yeah.
This was the fastest.
Oh,
This his tank, yeah.
It was nuts. It was a perfect campaign. It even drug in a couple HasLab haters that I know into it.
I think it's a good example of if you find that right balance, right, of desirable product, reasonable price, market it well. I mean, it was just really well executed. I think even compared to like there's plenty of other comparisons, but even compared to other GI Joe stuff, um, it's pretty cool. It looks good. I don't think it's unreasonable for the price. Um, it seems like the tiers so far have been reasonable and kind of like value added to a certain point. They're still involving the fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty exciting, and I think it's a good choice for or the scale, right? But also sort of an iconic vehicle that fits specifically GI Joe and not just military.
Right. I think also too the way they're jazzing this thing up, they're actually making it coincide like a showpiece, kind of like how Razor Quest and Cell Barge and stuff like that is, right? It's not just a giant vintage his tank, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you think that's what it was, then this would be totally overpriced, right?
Well,
But
and I don't know if you guys, ever collected like the 3 3/4 or the anniversary line, but when that line came out, '07, I got into it pretty heavy for a while because I was so much like Power of the Force. I was able to get some vehicles I never had as a kid, and it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. When I was following some of the Joe groups back then, it definitely seemed as if the majority of collectors, it was like an army building of not just figures but of vehicles, right? So I think his tanks are like you can pick up ones, you can refurbish old ones. They've been reissued, literally like 24 times over the years, right? Different colors, red, white, black, the traditional black, mud on the treads, clean treads, and I think to your point, Brian, is like them jazzing this thing up with some of these tiers. You can customize it. You can make it fit some of the other Mythos versions, and not just feel obligated to try and army build all these vehicles, which I think is what you see a lot with like the HISS tanks specifically, because they are pretty easy to find. And even a beater HISS tank you can make look reasonable for a background dio, right? If and kind of fake it a little bit.
Fake
The
it,
right
make it.
love. Yep, with the right love, you can make it work. I enjoy it. I think they're doing a phenomenal job with it. And yeah, it is nice how they're involving the fans in choosing colors of this early bird figure, and you're getting so far. We're up to 3 figures in the pack. I mean, that's what they're like $30 a piece now.
Yeah, right. 25 easily. So
I mean, there's 75, $90, whatever you want to call it. And then all these extras, you can make it look vintage, you can make it look new, you can give it whatever look you really want to do with all these extra things they're giving you.
Well, the port system, and Brian, I'm not good at screen sharing. I don't know if I'll find it, but did you guys? There was with sort of that Pursuit of Cobra line. So I don't know if you guys like followed also, but sort of towards the end, right, of the 3 3/4 wave, they really hit their stride with that Pursuit of Cobra, and is before the movie really kind of like took over like '09 ish. But there was a different style HISS tank with a solid canopy that had like real rubber treads. And it sort of had this like action feature that popped up. Like, JJ, you probably know. Do you know what I'm talking about? I have to try and find an image of it, but it had these ports also with a similar idea that you could like move the weapons around.
Yeah.
Right. It was like spring loaded.
Yep.
Like I said, it was a solid canopy, very futuristic looking, sort of in the spirit homage of a HISS look, but not really what you think of.
Yeah.
And they did it in a few colors. Yeah, they did it like in a red, and then there was like this brown color, and then it was. I remember back in the day, you had to know the UPC because the boxes were all the same. So you didn't know if you were getting the solid black or like this brown one, but
Right.
the ports were kind of interchangeable, similar to what they're doing on this also. So there's a good, kind of, previous interactivity, I think, that's being added to this. So
Do you guys feel like this was like this that as quick as this funded was just due to the fact that GI Joe has the 6-inch line was very anticipated. Joes have never had their time. Like Joe collectors have never had their time. This is their time, and now with this HasLab that just popped up, there was no obviously with all the GI Joe fans out there and how they embraced this new 6-inch line, that this was no question that this was going to be funded within seconds. Because
I mean, I was a little skeptical about it.
Me too.
When we
but
talked about it last week, but that I saw the images of what it looked like, and I'm like, okay. And I saw how many backers it already had. When I pulled the website up, like right out of the gate, and I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a good one.
Did that make a influence like your decision to maybe want it now? Like seeing the amount of backers. I mean, when I saw the images too, I'm not going in. I'm not collecting that line, but I was like, damn, that's a fucking beautiful looking H.I.S.S tank. Like the black and the red deco, looked really really good. Working treads, what does it have? Like I think LED lights and stuff like that. So,
dude, the spotlight, that Cobra spotlight, it fits like that sort of organization, in my opinion, of the cartoon, right? To kind of like everything they built, in the cartoons had a cobra head or a snake head, right? Their planes, the temples, it was like everything, and I don't know. I thought that was cool. It's like they have like spotlight that's like the Cobra logo.
No. Let me see if I could find it.
Yeah, I was like, I am collecting line.
I got it.
Yeah, and when this was announced, there was no question I was not going to buy it. It's just like, but then I also raised the question, like, how? Like, you're right, Gary. This is definitely a vehicle that would be like troop building. Like you would buy multiples of these vehicle. This one vehicle, but it's like from a 6-inch perspective, man. That's like buying like 6 of these. This is gonna be huge.
You better have a fucking room.
Yeah.
But I think it's enough on its own with the versatility, like with the opening, cargo kind of troop in the back, right? The gunner, the driver. You can make some pretty kick-ass displays with it. I think, without having the need to do that. But it's big. Did you guys see it compared to like an anniversary edition H.I.S.S?
I saw that picture.
Yeah,
No.
It's pretty massive. Like
all those photos look good. Like I feel like you can't really get a sense in these photos, like you know what I'm saying. But just the design of it and the way it looks, like so to me, does this look like brand new to you? Like because again, the cartoon was the cartoon, right? It's like the Transformers and the way they look.
You know
what
that is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a GI Joe fan, you know exactly what that is.
But they modernized it, right? Like they gave it some bells and whistles to make it look like a real
not
thing
enough.
And fucking,
not enough to like take away from the original design.
Yeah, it's definitely not a stylized vehicle, Jose. Like I mean, it is pretty much just like a detailed but not stylized. You know how like Transformers, like MP, like they stylize the look, and it's kind of like you know who it's supposed to be. But I mean, this is pretty much like JD said. You just see the silhouette and block it out. You know what it is. Like
If you go down if you go down to the bottom of the page, there'll be other pictures of the not of this, but they're trying to sell the original or like the retro ones. So you can right there.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 3/4 ones, which are just
okay. Yeah.
It's the old mold.
So and I just put one of these together at GD's house 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, you see where the stickers go and everything. Like it's pretty spot on with this HasLab. They're remaining very very faithful. See, they put theirs on at an angle toward the track, JD. I put mine perpendicular to this GH7 here. I wonder if I did it wrong.
I thought you meant the 788.
Oh no, I did that toward as you had wanted.
Oh,
You
okay.
see how they got this one too close up? You see they got the little.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shame
it's
on
on
them.
the edge. It's on the edge.
Yeah, maybe they
Yeah.
needed more beer like I used when I was doing mine.
So,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Jose, I mean, this is it, man. It's
yeah.
like if we can see.
And then we were seeing pictures of the blue one, so I was like, "Man, is black like the color it's supposed to
Yeah.
be?" But I was like, "But that looks
Yes.
great." I was like, "That looks great." The black and red is always a great looking color scheme.
But like
You know?
how they have the decals here for the headlights, like they're actually
Yeah.
like they're making those real detail.
Yeah.
These have lights in them, and
Yeah.
but like that little sticker's the same. That sticker's. I mean, I just remember putting all those on. So
How many?
see
How
here, look,
many?
they did it perpendicular. See, I did it right.
Yeah.
Perpendicular. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
that's the glory of it. Is like you can really
You do what
it
you
however
want.
you want.
Do what you
Yeah.
want. Yeah. So what are some of the stretch goals, and like have they hit them? Like I know they have like hit the action figure one, right? Like that was 8,000.
Yeah.
So 8,000 to fully fund.
And you get a
you
bonus free figure,
the bonus figure if it funded.
which
Okay.
is some you got to pick. We'll be able to choose the color later.
Oh, nice.
So
I thought I saw like a figure in red, so I thought that was the one you were getting. You know.
No, that's the
Yeah.
pilot. It already comes with that one.
yeah, this one.
Oh,
it
that
comes
right
with.
there. Okay, cool.
Yep, that's the pilot.
And so we have unlocked the first upgrade, which was scrolling these missiles that you can mount to the sides,
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like that.
and then
And you take them off those racks.
And I
You
was
take them
I
off
was
those racks.
looking like
I don't know if the missiles come off.
Yeah, so like if you go up where they haven't shown these yet, there's actually on that side there's like a fuel. That's like the fuel container almost. So they're hidden pretty well, like where you plug them in.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I think is like it's more flat, but yeah, there's like a little. I don't know. I was studying it. It had like a little flap that lifts up.
Yeah, it's not obnoxious, like,
right? Yeah, there's not a big hole there.
Right. So it's not Centurions on a vehicle, right?
And then Jose, they unlocked was like a vintage armor pack.
So yeah, the clear canopy and
you could take
the side pieces.
standard ones on. Yeah.
So that I saw. Yeah, I saw people were kind of like shitting on it.
Well, I mean, people shit on it, but like the people would have shit on probably the first one. Like, oh, it's too stylized. I want the original.
Yeah,
but, the cool. I mean, they specifically mentioned like they want to give it the classified kind of aesthetic, which is the updated aesthetic. But they're giving you this for the original kind of look, which is kind of cool. Also, too, something like this is incentive to buy more than one, obviously.
Right. So it's that, but it's also, it sticks with the history of that vehicle. If you go back and look, even like on that site on Hasbro Pulse, the Walmart exclusives they carry there, the black H.I.S.S has a clear canopy just like that, the 3 3/4. Look at the blue one; it's got muddy treads, and the tint is really dark on the canopy on that blue one.
It's like smoke.
Yep. So it's different. And then when they do some of the crimson ones, oftentimes they tint it in a red color for when you see the H.I.S.S.
Yeah, maybe it is.
So there's different ways you can mix and match. I mean, if you want one that's totally blacked out. So, I'm just that kind of fits just the way that Hasbro's always sort of done that, I think, on the H.I.S.S also. There's a little history there.
I'd love a crimson one though.
Let's see them do the Havoc. So I mean, this thing funded outright. So now, like, this opens the door for more Joe vehicles. No.
Yeah. Me too, sorry.
And
I think there's no question that they're gonna, since this fastest one funded, they're definitely on the drawing board right now to figure out which one, what they could do next.
Which one do you think will be next?
I don't know, but I agree with Derek. I want a Havoc.
The Havoc. What do you think is like the next most popular?
Wait,
Like,
the Havoc, the thing that you drive on your stomach?
Yep.
Oh, it's awful.
I
With the
fucking
hovercraft in the back?
love that thing. Yes,
I
I
mean,
love that
I,
thing.
I think you really need the vamp, you know what I mean? Because you can do so much with it, right?
I
You
mean,
just,
that's more classic anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like
Is that is
Or-
that like the GI Joe counterpart vehicle to his tank, or
I think
it's
so.
looking- well, I would say that or Skyhawk.
Yeah, Skyhawk was used a lot too. You're right. It's like,
Yeah.
it's funny. It's like I think the vamp, it was the Mark
that's the
II.
Vamp.
Yeah, the green one was like in the very first miniseries briefly, but they used the tan one far more through the
Mhm.
cartoon than they used the original OG green one.
We're only 300 and something backers away from them revealing the
From the-
last stretch goal too.
Right.
So we're gonna
Well,
reach the third goal in 300, but usually after you reach the goal, they'll announce the next
Ooh.
one, which is should be interesting to see what that last one is. Yeah, that might bring a
think-
whole bunch more people.
Dude, if it's another
Well-
figure, like holy shit,
Yeah, because like
Serpentor.
totally.
this is where
Dude,
Nah, I don't think they would do. I don't think they would do that. They'll stick with something that has to do with.
Pay your $300 if you want that Serpentor figure.
I mean, right? So they've got missiles, they've got extra weapons. You know how much you can't add much more.
Does it have a
to
tow
that.
hitch?
It does have a tow hitch, so
So,
the asp,
I'm
right? I
thinking
think that's
maybe like an asp.
yep.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Or-
Because the asp as a toy was pretty basic, right? It was just two wheels. It wasn't self-powered, and it didn't even have a solid canopy. It was just sort of like a frame, around
Yep.
the figure.
There's a roll cage.
You got exactly. That's for your best way to describe it. You're right. And I think that, and even as a kid, it kind of throw me because the asp
Yeah.
was always blue and his tank was generally black. But
Uh-huh.
I think that would be great because extra figure. We got more display there.
Mhm. Yep. And I loved doing that as a kid.
Flipping it
course,
up, right? Like the
Yeah, well, I mean, having my H.I.S. tank pulling the asp, and then having like he's always dropping him off, and then he stands up, and he's
Would you want something like this, like the Awe Striker or something like that?
well, that
Yeah.
would have to be its own thing,
yeah.
And I think that's one of those molds, Jose, that has been done to death in the 3 3/4 scale.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it has been done
Yeah, dude,
25
like-
times.
That was
But yeah, that
Fat
little
asp.
it's a little vehicle pod.
So they should use the HASLab. If they're going to use HASLab to make more vehicles, then do like the stuff that's a little bit more complicated. Then like
yeah, like
Yeah.
stuff a little bigger than like single figure driving like motorcycles and
Right.
You
yeah,
know what I mean,
yeah.
I could see with the way they've been releasing stuff like a trouble bubble or the jetpack thing, the Fang. Is that what it? No, not the Fang. Fang was a helicopter.
Thing was the helicopter. The claw. The claw was the
Claw was the jetpack looking
Yeah.
thing. Like
yep.
they could do that. They could easily do that stuff with a figure
In the main
release.
line, on the store line. Yeah.
With the the way they're doing motorcycles and
Oh, the Fang.
stuff of
Yeah,
that nature.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a ferret at retail pretty easily at this
Yeah.
point, especially now they have Tomax and Zaymont coming out, right?
Uh-huh.
So as you
Um,
can see, it's killing the Riva.
Yeah, well, I think that's.
Dude, yeah, that
Wow.
thing's tanked. They're
But so you mentioned like
Seven-
the HasLab
7 days
haters, Brian. Like it, I was very vocal a couple of years ago on this very podcast, right, about the sail barge, and I think it's a good example, and I'll be the example there, where while I disagreed with a company like Hasbro putting that out there, right, and holding your money and everything that goes with it, but I didn't want the sail barge, right, so I chose not to spend my money on it because it really didn't interest me in doing it. I got a Razor Crest because it was gifted to me, but I would have been in on that otherwise. But when you have a product that people really are excited about, then maybe you change and pick and choose if you're going to support it or not, and be willing to let them hold my money for the next year, right?
Yeah.
To actually get one.
Here's something I'm working on. I still have to fill in Galactus and the Sentinel, and then I think I'm done with it. But I wanted to show how quickly the stretch goals are being hit. So, for
Oh.
instance, like obviously stretch goal 3 for the H.I.S.S is going to be like here, like in the next day or so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where 4 is going to go yet, but like for instance, the Rancor, as we know, failed the day before the Sky Striker um, uh, campaign ended, right? So it almost reached 9K, but like the Sky Striker is crazy how it was just it. I mean, the whole thing was like we have no idea, no idea, no idea. And then everybody
And
was like
shot up.
tried for the Rancor right at the last second. It didn't go, so everybody's like, well. I I got the money, might as well buy this Sky Striker. And it's like, boom, last day, just like that. And it hit
Bam.
almost all the stretch goals. It missed the third stretch goal. But it's crazy. But like the Proton pack has a nice progression here, hitting the last stretch goal a few days before it funds. And the Sentinel one's a bit crazy because I don't even think they have the stretch goals announced on their HasLab webpage because this was the first campaign that they actually had stretch goals. I think for the Unicron, I don't think there were stretch goals. I thought the Unicron they were just tossing stuff in to get people to buy it. I can't remember.
I think
But
you're right, Brian. Yeah.
yeah, but the which one's Sentinel?
And the
I
Sentinel
think
was
this one.
before the Razor Crest, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Sentinel's here, and I think all the stretch goals are like it was like 8, 9, 10, 11 or something like that. And then for Galactus, they changed it up and like made the last stretch goal like 22,000 or something, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I'll finish putting this together this week, but it's pretty interesting to see how the HasLab, the people running these campaigns, have like kind of looked to see how this stuff progresses. Because again, with the Sentinel one, they're just like, well, it's shooting up so fast. Let's just put stretch goals, and they were putting them out 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. I think the last one was ended up being pretty high, but now that they see how high these things can go, um, they space these stretch goals out a bit more. The interesting thing is with the H.I.S.S tank is like I almost feel deep down in my heart that the people who were running the GI Joe H.I.S.S tank campaign, either I want to say maybe they saw my charts or maybe they made their own, but they are very well aware that the um the most backers that you get are where's the graph on this one? Is it on the bottom? Can't remember. Is on the first day and the last day. So they were like, let's just make a huge incentive for these people to fund it on the first day or in the first week because they know that the more you get in the beginning, the more you're going to get at the end. So like all these little low ones here didn't make it. I mean, Sky Striker is a bit of a nuance here because this is the Rancor sloppy seconds. But if I was to put the sail barge in here, again, barely made it at the end. Unicron barely made it at the end, stuff like that. So I am just impressed with the campaign overall. That was
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
And it was funny because, like, again, last week it was all speculation, and it was kind of like, man, what are $300, man? What are they gonna give me for $300?
I like how like we're all like, oh, better have lights and sound and all that kind of shit.
The lights, sound, all that
It
shit.
had light sounds. It has all
Well,
that. It has that back.
no,
It has that
do you-
back compartment. It had
Yep.
everything that we said that if for that price it better have, and it did. And then with these, like you said, JD, with these additional figures, like you can't go wrong. Like
You can't go wrong.
So,
there.
do you think is it? Like, it's just kind of a legit question, right? So I wasn't on last week, but are we just sort of desensitized that $300 suddenly seems reasonable, right? With some of these things, or is it in perspective, right? And I mean that saying this, like I think back to the Classics Grayskull, when that was done on a pre-order, right? Not really kind of crowdfunded, but not the same way, right? JD, wasn't that it was $250 if I remember correctly? Was like retail, and I remember ordering it, and I remember talking to my wife and be like, I'm buying this thing for $250, but don't worry. You know what I mean? It was like such a big decision. And now what's the Thunder Tank? 500, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ish. You know, the Super 7 van, I think, is 500. The third party van was like what, 250, and the NECA was like 250.
That's true. Yep.
Right. Okay. So, you know, it's like you kind of get used to it, but I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that question. I guess it just sort of seems like
the thing is we have to have an open mind with like I think right off the bat I was quick to jump at that price of is this thing 350 or 300? Is it 350?
I think it's 299, right?
299.
300.
So it's 300. Like when that price came out just for the tank itself, I was feeling like, you know, no, you know, the H.I.S.S tank for 300 is ridiculous. But like you said, like we definitely have to keep an open mind to the point where that 300 price point and, you know, whatever additional stretch goals and figures that they're going to give you, you know, that brings that price down. Like, you know, so if you're going to get 3 figures for that, that's $75 off that 300 price. So you're really getting this H.I.S.S tank for like $200. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, that at that price with, you know, for the H.I.S.S tank, you know, and 3 figures and some of these add-ons, like you're really getting that the tank itself for like $200. Yeah. So we in the future, I'm going to actually consider that more often when you see that 300 or 350 price, because a lot of these things are coming with those extras that kind of bring that price down on the initial, you know,
and who knows what's to be announced as his last stretch goal as well.
Exactly. So
you know, I would imagine at this rate with everything they've done so far, this is going to be like the big bang at the end. You know what I mean? So they'll probably do something cool. I'd be surprised if it's not something to attach to the trailer or as a trailer. You know, maybe it's a little dolly with a ferret. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it's an asp. Maybe it's just another. I don't know what the missile thing was. It was like a
the MMS.
Yeah, that thing.
Yes.
Yep.
But whatever it is, it's going to be another $20 to $30 add-on to where
At
you know
least,
it just drops down that, like, you know. So I think like when they put these prices out there, 350, 300, and you know they're calculating all those add-ins. So like, you know, I think they're putting that, like, you know, it's not a freebie, but like, you know, when they put up this price, us as consumers are just looking at as like, okay, 300 just for this tank. No, it's 300 for the tank and all these fucking accessories and figures.
3 to 4 figures.
Yeah,
a
like
bunch
it's
of like a bunch of extra
you're not
accessories.
gonna, you know, it just sweetens the
trailer
deal.
Thing.
And I think the fans, I think G.I. Joe fans are definitely going to appreciate all the add-ons that they're adding to this for $300. It's a no-brainer. It's like, I'm going to buy this. You know? I'm buying 2 because, you know, I'm getting all these troopers and I can enjoy some army building here. So,
but see, I also think the figures that they've included so far make sense for the item, and it's also not creating that frustration of I had to drop $300 to get this one particular character, and this is the only way I can get it right now, and hope it comes out again 2 years later, right, as a reissue somehow.
Yep.
And look, that's fair, and not making you, you know, like I said, drop all this money for something to get the one character, right?
It's a good way for them to test the waters to see what, you know, what actually makes this work. Like,
yes,
what actually makes the G.I. Joe line work, what people want, what they're willing to spend, and all that kind of great stuff. You know what I mean? Like, how far can we go and still like show our appreciation for our fans? You know,
it's definitely more of an art than a science still is. So I think they're going to have to figure it out, because it's not an XYs that they can put on a chalkboard and you know, they know how much cost they have in this, and they know, but like with respect to the fans, all this doesn't matter if you don't have the demand. So
Right.
Yeah.
they need to build that demand, and GI Joe. I think with the start of this whole line, GI Joe fans are excited. Yeah, there were some frustrations at the beginning, but I think with everything that they have done so far,
But
It's still frustrating to some degree,
It
but
is.
it's
Not
sort of
saying it
leveled
isn't.
out. And it's taken 2 freaking years, right, to where you can more or less sort of track down most stuff, right, if you really were patient with it. Um, but yeah, it was still. I still fight back and forth, but shout out to the Valaverse figures, because if they hadn't rekindled my excitement, I probably wouldn't have any interest in any of the Joes anymore. I would have given up, because I've been in and out twice already. I'm like,
So you're still having issues with finding figures out there, Gary? Like,
no, I just accepted the just true, like we always say, the patient saves pockets, but also it's not the dollar amount per se. It's the, hey, I don't care if this exclusive is for Target or wherever it is. Sooner or later, it seems to show up, whether it be BBTS or someplace else. So if I'm not going to see it, I just have this. I guess I've accepted the fact that you collect it at your own pace, right? Because, like I said, I've still never have ever seen a bat or an alley viper in a brick and mortar store down here.
nope. Me either.
I've never ever seen one on a peg anywhere.
I still haven't seen any Joes, any GI Joe classified. Only only Snake Eyes figures.
Right? Yeah,
never
those
classified.
Hey, small little tangent. I watched the Snake Eyes movie this weekend after we talked about it last week. I will admit I had to force myself through it a little bit, but not because the movie itself was bad. It's just I wasn't that interested. But I was watching it, especially when I was finally getting toward the end, ready to move on to something else. I was like, from a movie standpoint, it's actually not terrible. It was just I had no desire to watch it. Is all. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. I was like, it's not overly like dumb like you might think they do to these franchises nowadays. Like it was taken seriously. I thought it was pretty
Okay.
good.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I never actually watched it yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
I
wasn't
haven't
like
watched it.
comedic. Wasn't comedic or anything.
No,
that they try to-
nothing dumb like that. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I mean, not that I have much interest in GI Joe, but
Other than
it
Scarlet.
seemed like a pretty decent origin story for that character, and it kind of gives you an origin story for another character as well. So I thought it was pretty cool. But the thing is, you're watching this as a GI Joe fan, and you're just waiting. Can we get to the GI Joe stuff, please? Can we get to the GI Joe? But you never get there. So I won't spoil that. They're saving that for the next movie. Yeah, if there's a next movie.
Doubtful.
Yeah.
It'll probably be rebooted again. All right, that's interesting. So now, okay, so with it all revealed and stuff like that, everybody that collects this are in on this tank, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I'm
definitely in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going for 2, just for that idea that to maybe build one, with all the modern stuff and one classic at this rate, based off of the Cobra characters that I'm going to get or have, So
Dude,
Wow.
things that roll are fun. Get it and roll it around.
well,
Roll it around.
and I think it's reasonable to display it too, right? Where you can, it's not as wide as the Thunder Tank. It's not maybe quite as long as the Turtle Van. It's not like Grayskull or Snake Mountain where it takes up so much space you can't put it on anything. I don't know.
It's like a 1/12 car.
Yes,
Just with
exactly.
height. Just has the height.
Right.
And two H.I.S.S tanks as bookends to any type of collection looks badass anyway on a Cobra shelf.
Well, oh, yeah.
So I could see people if they are going to go with a quantity check, 2 would be it. But from a collection standpoint or an RV building standpoint,
I would say you got to get 2.
you got to get 2. Yeah, like
Because later on down the road you'd be like, oh, you know what? I wish I had a second one.
Yeah,
do it.
it's the
They
two.
they
It's the
they do.
rule two
I
that you have
when
to.
when I backed it, I saw that they had PayPal as an option. So like I know Dust is always talking about that PayPal credit. So I mean, do it, man. Just do it. You don't have to pay it off for like a year or something. Was it
Yeah.
6 months? I don't
Six
know what
months,
the hell
six
it is.
months, 6 months, no interest.
Now,
So you got 6 months.
do you guys like? Granted, it's not like we'll never see these like reissued or anything after this thing is done. But like, say they do another vehicle, like a Joe vehicle, and they do it that that classified aesthetics and stuff like that. Do you see later down in this HasLab, GI Joe classified figures? Do you think they'll ever do like where they take the neck, like they take two figures that two vehicles that they've done in the past and do like add
Like
those
an
two as
exclusive
one,
set.
and then do like a retro where they do the blue version of the Hess tank and the orange version of whatever vehicle, like that they did in Joe, like a Joe retro vehicle, and put them together and put it for like a $400 a
I mean,
HasLab.
I'd be okay with that if
You know
they,
what I'm saying?
you know what I mean. If it, down the line that happened, if they kept going with this, like I'd totally be okay with that.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
'cause
I
could
think the
see them
close
doing stuff like that where
the closest we've probably got maybe be. We don't have the other one yet, but I don't remember the comparisons. But the Galactus is actually taller than the Sentinel, I think, wasn't it?
yes, it is. Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, so I don't know how much parts reuse they could have shared, maybe, but
Yeah, I
as
don't
I
know
say.
whether that's due to the head of
Right.
Galactus
Okay.
versus the shoulders. Like I don't know. Like we got to see whether those shoulders come at the same amount of the Sentinel, but it's definitely bigger. So we just don't know where the height is coming from, whether it's just the head or is it the body in itself. So that'd be interesting to see. But yeah, I'm down. I'm down, and I hope to see a lot more vehicles that can do. But I hope they do take advantage of doing some of the easier vehicles in the main line. So they could do more of the harder vehicles or bigger vehicles in this HasLab.
They haven't done any other vehicles besides like that bike that came with Baroness, right? Have they done
And the Joe bike, the Ram cycle.
The Ram
Yeah.
cycle, yeah.
Okay.
With the big gun it's not a sidecar like what was it, the Mirage? It was the other bike later on in the line, right? I think was it the Mirage that had actual seated sidecar. This just has the big gun next to it.
Oh shit!
Okay.
So yeah,
Look at that.
it's going to be bigger.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Okay.
That looks crazy. That Galactus looks fucking.
But that's
sick. That fucking face, the head sculpt. Yeah, it's wow. Looks
But,
good. Looks good. Looks good. Thumbs up. Yeah, so I mean that's nice. So now, do you think like, man, this thing funded? Like, so do you think like this shows them like, man, there's a market like for, let's say, maybe still simpler, vehicles, that they could put out in the 6-inch line? I feel like they were always hesitant, right? That it's easy to do it in 3 3/4. Like,
I mean, everybody said, "Oh, they can't do vehicles in,
Right.
in 6-inch." Like everybody said that, and I'm like, sure they can. And they, they did it with they gave the Baroness of the coil cycle, which was it is what it is. But then they did the Ram cycle because everybody was complaining that it wasn't vintage enough, the designs that they were going with. And they kind of, I feel like that game bombed so bad. They were like, we got to take this back to the vintage stuff, or we're probably going to lose the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think, we talk a lot about like, if we look at the other HasLab items, I feel like this one really was offered with more fan insight and feedback. If you think back, like I know it was new, right? So you had the barge, but then like wasn't Cookie Monster the second one?
yes.
And who asked for that, right? And even if you're going to do like a Muppet character, right, from whatever it is, you don't go with one of the most iconic characters of it, right? X-Men, right? Marvel fans have wanted that Sentinel. Oh, I'm with E Prime too. Yeah, it's Snowcat. I'm with you there. It's people wanted that Sentinel badly. I think for a long time, the Razor Crest, right, was really, even though they blew it up a week later, pop culture, right, the show really had spiked the excitement for it. The Rancor, I don't think people disliked that item. It was the tiers were pretty much nonsensical and really not valuable.
Mhm.
But if they had timed that with the Boba Fett show, whether you like the show or not, you can't tell me that it would have got people more excited about.
Yeah,
Right?
if they timed that
Yeah,
release,
yeah,
like,
maybe.
with that
Right.
episode that came out that showed the Rancor, and like the kick ass of the Rancor, not just
Yeah.
the Rancor locked down with with chains and stuff. Like that last episode, if I think they timed it well with that, I'm sure it would have spiked some interest.
But I feel like, the Proton Pack showed that you could do sort of like cosplay prop type stuff, right? It doesn't all have to be vehicles. But that was also done at a point. Go ahead.
The hype of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, right? It was, there's a lot of nostalgia tied in and a lot of feelings and built up excitement for, something that was unique and well done for it. But then, we bagged on that lightsaber, everyone's bagged on it enough. But, it's from a show that's kind of lukewarm. It's a character that they assumed everybody might want to get behind and people didn't. And it doesn't seem to present the value for the money there. So, you said
fair, yeah, the new Kenobi saber's like $250 or over.
Right.
So this one's 2 lightsabers. So I guess the price kind of makes sense, but I don't know. It's like maybe the thing wouldn't have sold if they put it on shelves, So maybe that's why they did this. But I mean,
Tom, you mentioned earlier.
There's probably completionist lightsaber collectors out there, and those are the 1,300 people that are
Right.
buying.
Yeah, exactly. But I was going to say, Dom, you said it's like kind of an art. I don't know if it's really an art. I think it really is just trying to sincerely know what your audience is looking for, and maybe taking the time to offer that instead of pushing, telling someone what they want, right?
And not having fucking five of these going at once.
Well, fair enough too.
That's what I was going to bring up next, because
so true.
Rancor came right on the heels of just completing the Galactus campaign, if I remember correctly. And yeah, Victory Saber, Proton Pack, Rancor, Sky Striker. It's crazy to have all that stuff going out all at once.
That's what I mean by science and art. Like they if it was a science, they wouldn't done that. Like they couldn't. Like they would say to themselves, like, we can't put 5 fucking HASLabs out in the same time and expect all these collectors, who a majority of us are franchise collectors. Like we're not just collecting Transformers. We're not just collecting, Star Wars or G.I. Joe.
I don't know, man, because I feel like that's what they did. The investors were like, "Oh, sure, we can sell all this shit. Look at all this garbage that these people buy. We can sell them anything." I think they got cocky at first.
Yeah, but
when they started failing one after the other, then they, there were only certain ones that made it out alive.
Yeah. But do you guys think, like, if that saber, like, say for example, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show did not introduce that new character and put more emphasis on the Grand Inquisitor, which was already a built-up character from Rebels, and made him more of an emphasis in the show and made him badass and did some more fight sequences with him, and then made it his lightsaber, and it made it and it fucking spinned. I think it would have. I think it would have more interest than what this fucking thing is. Like, I'm saying, like,
probably all of those things, Tom. Yeah,
just what I'm saying. Like, even if it didn't spin, like, if it just was the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor's fucking lightsaber, I think
to be fair, they all have the same fucking lightsaber.
They do.
Yeah, they're all the same. So like, they
So
could have marketed that thing totally different, but they gave it a name. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They should have just said it's an Inquisitor lightsaber. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't
Inquisitor
put
saber.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, where they backed themselves in the corner just putting a name, like a specific person's name on that lightsaber, which was a character that not a lot of people were interested in or took to in this series. So, and there was rumors that she's going to get her own series. Like, you know, they were building this character to have its own series. Whether she gets it or not, I don't know. But you know, she was going to be a character that they were going to expand on and build. So, see where that goes in the future.
I mean, yeah. I mean, who the hell knows? She plays a better nice person than she does an evil person.
Yeah.
So that's for damn sure. So I don't know. I mean, unless I mean, if she's going to be in this time period gallivanting around, is she going to, I don't know, assist with the rebellion, or just going to be stirring up trouble for Palpatine and Vader? You know, being a thorn in their side, fucking with their plans. Who the fuck knows?
Interesting.
Yep. All right. So I don't know. Do you want to wrap? Let's wrap on that, guys. I'm kind of feeling tired tonight. We'll continue unbroadcasted, but that was a cool discussion. We had some other topics, but you know, we'll get to them another time. As we said, Nick Whitmore, sculptor extraordinaire, should be a guest on next week's episode. Should have a nice little interview with him, and so look forward to that, please. Yeah, I'm going to throw the link out there in the Realm of Collectors Facebook group. So anybody that's out there watching, listening, if you want to join us and get in on all the fun, just hop in. I'll throw the link in the Realm of Collectors Facebook group. If you're not part of that group, why not? Why not, guys? Just answer the questions and we'll let you in. So with that said, let's go around the yard, get some where you at, and we'll call it a night. All right. Gary, I'll start with you, bro.
Yeah, find me in the Facebook groups is probably the best way.
Nice. All right, JD.
Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live. On this channel right here, various nights of the week. Tomorrow night's an all-new Shelf Gravy.
Oh, I get to keep building my Prime again. Woohoo!
Yeah.
It's over there in pieces.
I'm going to have to figure out what I'm doing tomorrow because I'm almost done.
Oh my goodness. Well, stop working on it outside of gravy time.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Yeah.
Ready? Watch.
That's awesome.
Stop working lights and taillights.
Yo, nice.
Fucking cool.
Look at the inside. I see April on the screens and shit like that. That's cool.
Can't go wrong.
That's dope. That's pretty dope. All right.
I get to make a whole new one. So maybe I'll start a new one. How about that?
Nice.
All
right.
Down there.
Sweet.
Can you make a turtle blimp next?
Wow. I could.
Hey.
I'd probably just use the original glider and modify it.
There you go.
It would fit them.
Coming to a Shelf Gravy near you. All right, Big Dom.
Find me on this channel on Tuesday nights and on social media at Dominic Grosso on Facebook, and enjoying the next funding the next H.I.S.S lab until, you know. Like I think the only one I didn't go was the ghost. Like I actually did the Cookie Monster. I was very sad that failed. The Air Striker, and I did not go on the Ghostbusters either. So, but and really? Actually the first one, which was the sail barge, yeah. But I was tempted on the sail barge because it looked really cool. I chose not to.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. No problem. Brink.
At Brinkalizer on Instagram, making charts and stuff. Man, I haven't pulled Robot News for ETR. I think it's going to be like 3 weeks.
Oh.
I don't know, man. I feel rusty. I don't know if I feel like scrolling back 3 weeks or if I just do the last week. I mean, I'm sure people got their news.
Exactly.
Everything.
I think it'll be okay.
Do we really need the Transformer crossover to Street Fighter? Do we really need to talk about that? It's all sold out anyway.
Yeah.
You don't need that. I don't think you need that. I think
all right.
skip that. All right, cool. All right. As for myself, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at HarricanBX, ETR on Monday nights here every single Tuesday with these fine gentlemen. And check out Verbally Challenge on all audio platforms. Chat Squad, thank you for hanging out tonight, guys. Really appreciate you guys. Check us out online at realmofcollectors.com. Check us out on Instagram at Realm of Collectors. And, of course, the Facebook group where I'm going to be posting the link to this very room in. So hop in, join us for the post show, and we'll be back next week with a new episode with interview with Nick Whitmore, sculptor extraordinaire from the Savage Crucible line. So hoping to get some nice, cool information and have a nice little interview with that dude. All right. So until then, take care, guys. Take care, stay safe, and peace.
Toodles.
See you guys.
Later.
Say it with me now.
Round